All right, I want to make a video here on training while cutting. So you're ready to start losing fat. You want to retain the muscle that you have and lose as much fat as you can. So how do you have to change your training style to meet that goal? And before I get into all this, the short answer is not much. If you have a program that's working right now for building muscle, the same program is going to work for retaining muscle. You only really have to get into changing things when the calories start getting really low. You start dealing with recovery issues, fatigue, things like that. But just to start, I usually keep everything exactly the same. So don't go thinking that you have to all of a sudden start changing everything really quickly. I'll get into the first point here. Just keep the reps low. A lot of people are going to try to train high reps when they're trying to lose fat. And this is just the worst idea that you can possibly come up with. In a low calorie state, you have low energy and you're going to expend all that energy during your sets. So you want to keep the sets focused on strength because your performance in the gym, your strength is what is determining how much muscle you retain. So start doing all these high rep sets. You're going to have to drop the weight, and that's the opposite of what you want to be doing. So keep the reps the same and then start lowering them as you need to as the calories are coming down in order to keep your strength. The last thing you want to do is be dropping the weight when you're trying to retain muscle. You're just going to lose muscle at that point. So first, weightlifting is not cardio. Don't try to make it cardio. Weightlifting, try to be as strong as possible in the gym. So one thing that I'll do fairly early on is remove set extenders. So that means drop sets, rest pause sets. If you're doing supersets, things like that, I would just pull those out because that's going to be really long sets are going to be metabolically expensive. And that's like anything that's pulling on your gas tank is going to be harder for you to complete when you're in a low calorie state while maintaining your performance. So drop sets, I start pulling those out. And then at some point, you're going to need to probably lower the volume as you get deeper into your cut. At a certain point, your performance is going to start dropping. Fatigue is going to start building. And so lowering volume is a way to combat that. And you can do that a couple of different ways. You can decrease the amount of sets you're doing per workout. You can train less frequently. So add an extra rest day when you need it. You can play with how you want to reduce the volume, but at some point your total sets per week is going to need to come down a little bit in order for you to maintain your strength through these workouts. Another thing that you can do is split up your workouts so that you're doing less per workout. So maybe you go from four workouts a week into 5, but now your workouts are going from an hour to 45 minutes. It's just going to be in that low calorie state. You're going to have an easier time making it through a shorter workout while maintaining your performance. And then one more thing you might want to do, especially towards the really end of a cut, is switching to braced movements. So that would be something like switching from a barbell squat to a Smith machine squat or a leg press, something where you're going to be a little bit safer from the freak accident kind of thing that can happen if you're on super low calories. You might have a hard time making it through your set. You're going to fail a little earlier than you think. Being in a safer position where you can just rack the weight easily might be something that you want to do. So that's it, really. If you're in a position where you're just fat and your goal is to be able to see your abs, just keep going with your normal training. You don't have to change anything. It's only if you're like, you want to get real lean, you want to get in contest shape, that's when you're going to need to get into these more, I guess, advanced techniques for changing your training. So that's it. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and we'll see you again next time.